Louisiana All American Sports Show. 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 Louisiana. If the sports you want to talk about, then listen to the hottest show that's
coming out the South.
Eric Hatfield and Coach Perry Daniels, man. They're gonna sit you down and tell you all about the game and make it plain. 96.9 FM, that's the station. To hear the best sports talk show in the nation. Without hesitation, you should
get with this
and get your popcorn ready for your
might not miss
Louisiana All American
Sports Show.
Louisiana All American
Sports Show.
Louisiana All American
Sports Show.
Louisiana. It's Joker P. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just so fresh, so clean.
And I want to welcome everybody to the Louisiana All American Sports Show here on 96.9 FM WHYR. I am your host today, Gerard Piper, a.k.a. Joker P. And today is Saturday, October the 10th. And I want to thank the listeners. And it's a great day today. You know, it's, I think we got Coach calling in from Washington, D.C. Today. A lot of people may not know. A lot of people do know. Today is 10-10-15, and that commemorates a 20-year anniversary of the Million Man March that was held in Washington, D.C. And today's topic is justice or else. I'm joined today by none other than the brainchild of this whole operation, Coach Perry Daniels, coming live from Washington, D.C. What's going on, Coach?
Man, I've been worried about you, brother.
Yes, indeed.
Good morning, man.
Good morning. Everything's going good, man. It's a wonderful day, you know. It's great to be alive.
Absolutely, man. I have had to step away from the festivities here at the 20th anniversary of the Million Man March, man, in order to communicate back to you and the studio and the people of Baton Rouge. So,
Right, exactly. And, man, and speaking of people of color, guess who just walked in the studio? The man himself, the man right here. Yeah, man.
You know, Mystico was in town last night.
Oh, really? I know.
Man
Yeah.
Right Here.
Yeah, the man right here was in town. You know,
Yep.
Spice One was here last night.
No.
Spice One and Sebo.
one.
And Sebo,
wait a
both of them
minute, man.
performed together. Yeah, so. Yeah.
When the Victor joins us later on the show, we're going to ask him to tell a Spice One story for us.
Oh, okay. So he has a testimony for the Spice One. Okay, we'll
You know,
see.
if I'd known Spice One was here, I would have actually found a way to get to the varsity yesterday.
We would have. Yeah. Well, they was at. They wasn't at the varsity. They was at Bella Noche.
Doggone it.
Sebo and Spice One. But
Doggone
that's
it.
you know that's for our other show. I guess the Soul.
The Soul Lab.
Yeah, man. But we had a great action of football last night. Getting back on the football topic, we have Eric Hatfield. He covered the game. Unfortunately, I wasn't there last night. I want to tell this story real quick, man. It was a very touching story to me, of course. But my today is also an anniversary in a sense in my life. Is my grandson's first birthday. It's my first grandson. Today he makes 1 year, and it's 10-10. It's on 10-10, and so I know the significance of that. And so my daughter told me, "Well, I'm having a birthday dinner for your grandson. You know, he makes a year." I was like, "Well, okay." So I couldn't come to the game last night. She just really insisted on me to come. And so, but what happened was it was a surprise party for me.
What?
That's what it turned out to be.
Well, you know, daughter's always got you.
Right,
Exactly. I'm
And
wrapping
so-
my hand around my finger. You know what I'm saying, Perry? You know how that is. Daughter's got you wrapped around their
You
finger.
already know how that goes.
Absolutely.
Mama's boy and daddy's little girl. So
No harm in that. Sure.
ain't no harm in that. But you know, and that's why I couldn't really listen to the whole game. But I started out listening to it, and I noticed that Woodlawn scored first, and I wanted to segue into the player of the game and the player of the week. But I'm gonna let Eric take over because that was his brainchild. And what's going on? How you come
I mean,
in
honestly,
late?
your voice is a lot smoother than mine. You probably do you probably do young Mr. Myers more justice than me. But the Louisiana All American Sports Player of the Week was Javin Myers, and he's in studio with us this morning. He's got his all black fit on, as the hip hop rapper BG would say. He's got his purple shoes on. He's rocking. Finally cracked a smile. Oh man, he had his business face on. Perry, I wish you could have seen it. Homeboy was all business, but I'll tell you what, young man, you were exceptional last night. That's really all I can even say. You asked me after our interview how many yards you had. I know you had at least 75 in the first quarter. I lost track. Did you find out how many yards you had after the fact?
Yes, sir. I checked the Advocate, and they said I had 162 yards.
See, hey, I was close. I said 175, didn't I, last night? I said, I'm thinking you're about 175, but I don't know. You were outstanding last night. Tell us about your game. I talk too much, so go ahead.
I just came in trying to work hard to get the win, and my O-line came out for me. They was able to open up the holes so I can hit it, and Big Chris's came for me.
Coach?
You got any questions, Coach?
Yeah, absolutely, man. If he could just tell our listeners what Woodlawn's current record is.
Our current record is 3-3.
3-3, and those 3 victories have come against who?
Bel Air, Lafayette, and West St. John.
West St. John.
Absolutely. So who's next for the Woodlawn Panthers?
We play Terra next Thursday for our homecoming.
Okay.
That's a tough homecoming with Coach.
Not this year.
Oh, okay. Well, I stand corrected then.
Yes, it is.
So, what is Woodlawn? Where do you see Woodlawn finishing?
I see us finishing going deep in the playoffs.
Good job. Excellent job.
Coach Luke, go ahead, Joker.
I had a couple of questions for Javin Myers. From my understanding, we cover a lot of games here in particular schools here on Louisiana All American Sports, and we always try to expand our brand and expand our coverage of other schools to give other local kids, a little shine. And so Woodlawn is. I think we don't think we covered Woodlawn last year. This is about the first game.
I think we had McKinley with. Woodlawn football. This is the first time. Football. This is the first time. Yes.
Right, man. So I just wanted to know, what grade you in? Do you come from a family of football? Is this your passion?
Yes, sir.
And what are your plans?
I've been playing football since I was 5 years old. I just originally moved here from Augusta, Georgia, a year ago, and I've been starting since my freshman year, and I already got a Tulane offer, and hopefully I get some more.
What grade you in?
I'm a junior.
You're junior.
Yes, sir.
You just said something that perked my ears up on a couple of levels. Yeah, I mean, I'm a proud LSU graduate. Purple and gold is my colors. But all that being said, that's sports, and sports is in the toy department of the game of life. Tulane is an outstanding institution. The man who was right here, right now, the PA announcer, Michael Roberts, he's a Tulane graduate. He's a very bright fella. I'll tell you what, if you have Tulane knocking on your door, you should be have your hand ready to open it and others. That's outstanding, man. So you must be a good student, obviously, if Tulane's knocking on your door.
Yes, sir.
Favorite subject?
Math.
Yeah.
Mathematics.
That'll send that what got man on the moon. That's what's gonna cure cancer one day. That's man. We got a well balanced young man here.
Well, what do you think about the adjustment coming from? You played in Georgia too, I assume.
Yes, sir.
So can you tell me is it a difference between Georgia, the way they play their state football, the way we play ours, or is it how did you adjust coming down here? Was it easier for you, or was it a different type of adjustment?
The school I came from, it was a little unorganized, but coming up here, I believe it's the same, but it's just more organized at the school I'm at right now.
At Woodlawn,
yes,
right.
Sir.
Okay, well, good, man. So you adjusted well then for the culture and just the people.
Yes, sir.
The food.
Yes, sir.
The crawfish and the crabs, and we on that type of stuff down here. You got a chance to dibble and dab in a little stuff or that type of stuff, or what?
Yes, sir.
I mean, you're a running back. You got to cut and move quickly, so you got to, lay off the jambalaya and stuff like they were serving last night. But I'm sure you'll adjust to that rather quickly. Look, tell us about. This is my first time meeting your coach. Coach, I'm going to pronounce this all wrong. Daniel Luquette, is that right?
Yes, sir.
I got it. All right. he's a different kind of dude. But I kind of like. Tell me about him, because I don't know what to make of the guy. He's a high energy kind of guy, young guy, but he's a different kind of cat from what I'm used to. So tell us about your coach.
He's a great coach. He always teaches brotherhood, and he's just trying to make us be a good, conductive young man and try to make us better ourselves.
I can honestly say, and I say this all the time, that players are often a reflection of their coaches, and I can see that in you, and I can see that in the team. How long has he been there, and tell me about how he's helped your game and so on.
Last year he was an offensive coordinator, but this year he just became a head coach because he come from Dustin High School, and he's just been helping us a lot, and the team been improving ever since he came.
I'm a native of New Orleans, and when you said Destrehan, it's one of those things that connected all the dots. Now I figured them out. Coach, do you have some any what else you got for our in studio guest before we talk about the rest of the metro area?
Well, is Javin staying with us the entire show?
He's staying with Javin's going to stay with us as long as he can. Yes.
Okay, awesome. Well, let's go on and let's get some of his input on the rest of the weekend of sports.
All right.
Okay, well, I actually got a few of the other local area scores, and we can go over those real quick. You know, we had Ascension Catholic that beat Ascension Christian 48-0. Catholic High beats East Ascension 34-6. Central beats Walker in pretty much in 55-25. We had Dutchtown blanking Broadmoor 48-8. We had Plaquemine beating St. Michael 41-14. Parkview Baptist beats Glen Oak 44-14. St. Amar beats my alma mater, McKinley. Oh man, 37-8.
Yo, go ahead, Joker.
And you know, a friend of the show and a kid we look at, DJ White, had a big game yesterday at University. Blanked Baker 52-0. White Castle wins 62-0 at East Iberville. Woodlawn wins 41-12, and of course we talked about that. That was game of the week. And the last one I wanted to say was a game I kind of wanted to talk about. I heard it was a shootout, and it was the Zachary and Scotlandville game
of the year, as we kind of predicted.
That was a back and forth game, Coach.
Some interesting officiating.
Yeah, I've been hearing there's been a lot of suspect calls. I heard at the end it was a fumble at the goal line, and did he cross the plane? You know, it was just all types of different things. Levi Lewis he went 11 for 15 for almost 300 yards, 5 touchdowns. You know, it was basically a shootout.
It was something. I didn't get to see the game, obviously. Coach, go ahead.
What was the final score? Who won?
Zachary.
Sorry about that.
I held you to suspense. You know.
Coach is in D.C. He's here.
Zachary pulled it out, 49-46. And Scotlandville, Levi Lewis took him down all the way in the last seconds to the 2-yard line and they hand the ball off to some linebacker they say they got for their short yardage package. And he fumbled. And they said that linebacker met him in the hole right at the goal line. Some people say they thought he crossed the goal line, but the ball came loose and Zachary got it, and that sealed the game.
Scotlandville's official tweet actually said, in spite of a tough loss, I'm paraphrasing, but tough loss notwithstanding some questionable officiating. So so that was it was a heck of a game. Obviously, I wish I could be in two places at once. But Zachary, look, I don't know what to make of this Zachary team, because I've seen, from following them in the newspapers and on Twitter, and as much as I can for a high school team I haven't seen with my own two eyes, they seem like a team they were expected to, be possible state champions, and some weeks they seem really up and dominant, and some weeks they seem very mortal. But last night they took on a team we've seen with our own two eyes a couple of times who've been very solid with a great coach, and they beat them. So I don't know what to make of Zachary, but things seem to be going really well in Bronco land, apparently.
Yeah, absolutely. That quarterback, Lindsey Jr., is phenomenal.
He is.
And when you have an athlete like that, he's going to keep you in any game.
Right.
Especially at that position. So the official tweet from Scotlandville, let me say this, I don't believe that came from Coach Robert Valdez.
I don't think so either, Coach.
The one thing that I know about him is that he knows anytime he goes on the road that he's got to not only beat the 11 men on the field, but he's got to beat the officials as well. So that's just a given for the man, and he knows that. So I don't know who sent that tweet out, but you'll never hear anything like that coming out of Coach Valdez.
I didn't think so, because in the jungle of Hornets and Broncos, the Zebras were definitely the Lions. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and Coach Perry Daniels always says, if you have to rely on the officials to win, you've already lost. And just a little bit I've gotten to know about Coach Valdez. I don't think he's a cat that's going to rely on the officials to bail him out. But, look, it was probably a fan, it was probably a student or a teacher, and they're passionate and they want to win. And you lose a game like that, it's going to, no pun intended, it's going to sting.
It's going to sting. And we got, like you said, we got
Hornets
and we got Lions and all that. But in the studio today, is a Panther, a Woodlawn Panther. And that's Javin Myers. And I wanted to ask the young man this. Do you play any other sports?
Yes, sir. I run track.
You run track?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So you really are inspired to be a football player? Is that your number one sport, or it's just kind of a hobby, or are you really trying to, go somewhere with this?
Yes, sir. I'm trying to go to college, and hopefully, in college I'm really just trying to get a degree in what I'm majoring in, but hopefully, if I get a chance in the NFL, that'll be great.
Tell you what, with that speed.
So you're open to do whatever, for play different type of positions or whatever. What do you run the 40 in, do you know?
A 4-4.
4-4?
Yes,
really?
Whoa!
He's in the zip code. He's in the zip code. True.
When you get to mentioning 4-4 and 4-3, now you put yourself in a whole nother class. Ain't that right, Coach? We got Coach Perry Daniels on, and so we believe one thing. He's listening in. When you said 4-4, his ears perked up. You said, "Wait a minute,
Absolutely.
That puts you in a whole nother category, young man."
Well, that's awesome, man. And someone as astute as yourself, let the game take you as far as it can, but keep in mind, don't let it use the game to get what you need out of the game. And if you can get a degree from Tulane or any other prestigious university and come out of that without any debt, you're ahead of the game.
You're ahead of a lot of us.
Wow. Yes, indeed.
I'm 40 years old, and I'll be paying off student debt till I'm 50. So take Coach's advice to heed, because you seem like a real sharp fella, and Tulane's knocking on your door. My man, the doors are opening for you. And 4-4 speed will open even more doors. My goodness.
You better believe it, man. How old are you again?
I'm 16 years old.
You're 16 years old.
Yes, sir.
So, today is 10/10/15.
Yes, sir.
It's October the 10th, 2015. That means in October the 10th, 1995, it was an event called the Million Man March. Have you ever heard of that? Do you remember that?
No,
He can't remember. He wasn't born.
But have you ever heard of it? I know you didn't go. I didn't say you didn't go, but have you heard it? You heard of Minister Farrakhan, though?
Yes,
I'm sure. He held a Million Man March where it was 1 million black men that marched on Washington D.C. In 1995, and it was a historic event. It was a time that it was.
Is coming. I'm just giving you some background music. Go ahead, Joker. Don't pay me no money.
Right, and so today makes 20 years, and so I like to talk to young people to try to give them a little bit of history on people that tried to pave the way, because it was kind of my generation that I was about your age at the time, or a little older than you when the first Million Man March came through. And so Perry is in Washington D.C. He's actually live out there a few blocks from the festivities that's going on now, and I got a song I wanted to play. It's going to be the song of the day. It's by KRS-One and Bumpy Knuckles. And this is one of the first times I heard this song. It's called Stand Up. Very powerful song, and I want you to listen to the lyrics of this song. Check it out.
Spending money on pole climbers.
Boom!
Man, knowledge reigns supreme.
Knowledge reigns supreme.
Over nearly everyone.
Oh, man. Now, that's what's up right there, boy. Man. You know what I mean?
Wow. Fool.
Hey, man, you know what? All of the listeners aren't friends of mine on Facebook. But, so I just want to say that over the last 48 hours, I've just had an extraordinary experience of being able to witness first on Thursday night. I saw the God himself, the microphone scene, live and in person at the Howard Theater.
Wow.
That was awesome. And then last night I spent the evening with the teacher, the philosopher
himself. Man.
ARS1. So it's just been a great weekend, man. And now some more food for my mind. I'm here, Brother Louis Farrakhan, in a few minutes. So it's just been an awesome weekend, man. Let's move to the college sports.
Absolutely. And
but we got something on the bluff, right?
We're going to talk about cats and felines, all they Panthers and Panthers and Bengals and. So we talked about Panthers and Bengals, and now we got to go on ahead to our Southern University Jaguars as they venture out to Montgomery, Alabama, to face Alabama State. And if history is any indicator, this is going to be a good old-fashioned knock them down, drag them out, battle to the end. Last year Southern defeated Alabama State 28-21, and that was the most lopsided victory the Jaguars had in 5 years. Yes, I said a 7-point victory was lopsided. These two teams just slug it out. Back in 2012, Alabama State, the Hornets won 31-30. In 2011, it was 26-23 with Southern winning. The Hornets won in 2010 by the score of 21-19. I'm throwing a lot of numbers, 2010 and 2012 and 21-19. The bottom line, it's going to be a good football game. KQXL 106.5 will be carrying the game that kicks off at 6 o'clock tonight. It's also streaming and I will, on the internet, and I will get you those particulars as soon as possible. But Perry, if I could be in two places at once, if I could be in two places at once, I would have been at Zachary last night, as well as Bel Air, and I would like to be in two places at once and be at the Alabama State game because I think it's going to be great football. If you like football, if you love Southern, if you like Baton Rouge, you need to see this game today.
It always is, and for a lot of folks listening around the country that may not, even there in Baton Rouge, that may not be familiar with flag football, this is. In the SEC play, you know how there isn't an easy week. For this level of competition, there's no easy week, and the Southern University Jaguars are the better football team going in, but that really doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. Throw the records out the window.
You throw the records out the window, and this game generally comes down to survival of the fittest.
I'm looking forward to it. You got Willie Quinn, the little 5'5" explosion, who's just. I really, Coach. I think this guy has a shot at the NFL. I think he not only does he have a shot at the NFL, he has a shot to get drafted in the NFL with his explosiveness and his return ability. And I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna just go ahead and throw myself out there for the "I told you so." I'm gonna tell you so. Willie Quinn, one way or the other, is gonna be the difference in the Jaguars winning or losing this week. I think so.
I pretty much second that, man. I think that also that Willie Quinn and Leonard Tillery and Southern's been putting up a lot of points. I think their offense has come around, man. They've grown leaps and bounds. I see Southern as really a formidable team this year. I think the offense is really clicking and they're doing a great job. I think every game they get more and more confidence. You can just see it in Coach Odom's that they're getting more confident. So I'm definitely picking Southern with this game, even though I know it's going to be it's a close conference game. But I think Southern is going to pull it out, and I'm going with Southern in this game. Really
quick, everybody, it's going to be. This is off of GoJagSports.com. Of course, the game's always on Southern's always covered on KQXL 106.5 in Baton Rouge. The audio stream is on GoJagSports.com, and it says web coverage is on BamaStateSports.com, BamaStateSports.com, from 6 p.m. I'm not sure if that means there's video streaming or what have you, but those are your particulars to catch this game tonight.
All right. What about Javin Myers? You want to chime in on?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We got to get Javin's opinion on.
Well, let me explain to him how we normally do this. We have a segment every week that's called "I Told You So," and so "I Told You So" is basically we make picks one week, and then the next week we will come back with a skit and see who's wrong and who was right. And so it's like "I told you so." So your picks are very, very important. So the first pick we have is Alabama State versus Southern University. You can chime in and tell me, analyze the game if you want to, or you can just go straight to your pick. So the floor is yours, Mr. Myers. Not Michael Myers, but
I believe Southern University will pull it off because I feel like they got a well-set defense and their offense is really explosive from the games I've been watching.
You hit the nail on the head, my man. The offense is very explosive. Have you had a chance to check out? I mean, one thing I've learned from high school players always have their ear to the ground, but you're so involved in preparing for the next week, sometimes you can't watch the little details. Have you had any chance to check out Willie Quinn?
Yes, sir. I actually saw him in person, and he got good work ethics, and he brings a lot to the table, and I take a lot from him.
Good work ethic. That is a key, my man.
And fast too.
Yes,
right. He's fast. Right. So what are you running? What do you run? You run 100 and the 200?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Good deal. Good deal.
Have you ever? I know you're only 16 years old, so you might or might not catch this pop culture reference. But are you familiar with the movie Friday?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because Coach Dawson Odoms actually had a cameo in there, and he wanted me to tell you something about today's game because homeboy he's climbed up the ranks, he's getting bigger contracts, and Coach Odoms is going to win today because one thing I will tell you, Coach Odoms will tell you,
playing with my money is like playing with my emotions.
So I am very confident that Coach Odoms is going to have those boys prepared and ready to play some solid football today.
Yes, indeed. Most definitely. But what else we got?
So look,
sorry about that.
This is the first time that the Jaguars have been on the field since the incident in Athens, Georgia, where one of their teammates was carted off the field with a severe spinal injury. So it's going to be interesting to see how they respond to that. And
great point.
Yes, and Eric and I kind of talked about this off air. And did that incident have an effect on the Georgia Bulldogs as the Alabama Crimson Tide came into the same stadium where it took place?
Right.
Yeah.
We don't know whether or not it truly did, but that does have an impact on the eyes that are there to witness it.
I think
gentlemen,
so. You're right.
Before you chime in on this, I just want to let you all know, get that St. Louis music ready. We've got our special guest with us.
Oh, I'm getting kind of excited. All right. So, but look, Coach, I'll tell you, the University of Georgia, straight up, they looked a little tentative. I mean, they looked a little tentative last weekend. I mean, Alabama, Alabama doesn't need any motivation, and Georgia doesn't need any motivation to play Alabama. But by the same token, the least little thing can tip that game either direction, and that was not a little thing with Georgia last week. And Southern had the week off last week. The bye week, purely from a football standpoint, could not have come at a better time for reasons that nobody could have predicted. But I'm wondering if they're going to play kind of like Georgia. They looked tentative last week. I mean, Alabama was, notwithstanding what happened the week before, that could have happened. But I'm wondering if Southern's going to be tentative or if they're going to come out and be very inspired, which could happen also. It could really swing either direction, especially against a SWAC rival like Alabama State.
I think that's a great point what Coach brought up. I never looked at that side of it, but now that I analyze what he said, I think that I don't think Georgia played tentative to me because I saw them all hyped on the sideline like they was trying to start something with Alabama, like they was really ready to go. I think that they just got beat. I think it'll probably affect Southern a little bit more. And at the end of the day, we're still talking about young kids. If I was young and I was 17 years old, I see somebody get hurt like that. It don't matter. Under those helmets, we look at them like they're men and they can make, but they're still kids. Will that affect Southern? I think that's a great point you brought up today. I want to see how that affects them today.
Let me tell you.
They still play hard? Are you going to run in there? If I'm 16 and I seen another guy get carted off the field, and he brought up another point. I don't like really talking about this with Mr. Myers. He's a young football player. But I'm just saying, if I was 16 and I seen another guy get carted off the field and I'm, would I be tentative now to see that big running back coming through there? And, I'll be a little hesitant now to just dive in there like just with my head first.
Let me tell you, I was on the field in high school much like Piper. I was in the band. And in 1989, Ben Franklin High School hosted a strike that traveled to St. Bernard High. We had a player named Gene Brand. I remember this 26 years later. I remember I was hesitant putting my lips to the mouthpiece the following week, literally. I mean, it's just one of those things you can't shake that. So it's gonna be a fight or flight reaction. But I think, and I've noticed this in sports in general. Once the whistle blows and the ball is kicked, you're playing football. And I think if anything, I'm praying, I'm wishing for inspiration for Southern. But once that ball is kicked, it's time to play ball. And football is a game you really have to react. It's a reactionary sport. You don't have time to think about that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you can best believe that Coach Odom is pushing that same agenda in the pregame speech, Eric. You hit the nail on the head.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, I agree. And we joke about Coach Odom's looking like Big Worm from Friday, and playing my money's like playing my emotions. But really, the emotions are going to be there. And I think I do have confidence Coach Odoms is gonna use that to motivate his team. I have a lot of confidence in this coach.
I have a lot of confidence in Coach. He's pretty much he's locked in on that job. He's doing an absolutely phenomenal job.
People are trying to steal him.
At Southern.
People are trying to steal him. We've heard the rumors.
You can see a person that's a leader of men.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And he has that.
And I would play for that man. I'm 40 years old. I can get some eligibility left. I'd strap on a helmet. I go on the.
Don't believe it. Don't believe your head. Don't believe it. Get out there and tear your hamstring as soon. Yeah.
All right, man. So we ready for the guy that hasn't joined us in a while.
So, I am thrilled to have our guest back in studio. And, if you listen to the show on a regular basis, you already know what time it is. You're going to be thrilled when you hear this music, right? Ciao.
I'm going down, baby. Yo, street in the rain. Come
Oh, I am thrilled to welcome back onto the Louisiana All American Sports Show, The Fixer.
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
What's going on, Fixer? How are you?
Hey, I'm just out here in Vegas this morning, chilling, hanging out, doing it.
Well, that's what's up. What's up?
What's going on? When we opened the show, Joker was telling me that last night in Baton Rouge, Spice One performed. And I said, well, we gotta let G tell a Spice One story when he gets on.
Man, what's up?
So Spice was down there this weekend?
He was down here last night, him and Sebo.
Alright, I'm everybody know I'm a biker, so I ride my bike. I'm up in Seattle, right? So I'm sitting in my hotel chilling. So this dude get out the car that I've seen in my clubhouse like 3 or 4 different times, and I'm like, "Hey man, what are you doing up here, man? Who is you?" He say my name is Spice. So I say to myself, "Spice who?" So he says, "Spice what?"
Say I'm Spice.
I'm like, Spice One. So I go to my Spotify and I pull up his picture and I look at him and I said, "You gotta be kidding me! 187 proof. You know how I can get off all these years?" So I had posted Perry to take the pictures of me and Spice One in my hotel room from Seattle, Washington.
Right.
He was just with the man last week.
Yeah. Come on, man, really. Wow. That is
That's what I
crazy.
said. Wow.
Wow.
We've been hiring for like months, and I didn't even know.
Wow.
If you can, man, I need you to talk up a little bit. I'm not sure. How are y'all picking him up in the studio, Joe?
Oh, okay, but he can be louder, right?
Yeah, we could be just a little tad bit louder.
Okay.
All right, let me try something here. All right, is that better?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
that's better. Absolutely.
All right.
All right. So run down the odds for us this week, man. Let's start with we hadn't covered the first before we do anything. Do you have any input on the Southern game? Southern's playing Alabama State this weekend. Who do you choose there?
I'm going to take Southern, but I don't have any odds for them because they don't have any odds for them out here in Vegas. But I'm going to take Southern.
Okay. Now, we'll get into the 8-ball and MJG in a second, but we're going to let George go ahead and move to the other side of town. And Joker move to the other side. Joker move to the other side of town. And give us the odds on the LSU game.
LSU minus 19.5. That means that LSU has, they got to win 19 by 19.5 for anybody to make any money.
Wow. I think that's a pretty big spread for a South Carolina team, but wow. That means they really on LSU this year. They're really big on LSU. I guess
I
jump on the bandwagon. What you think?
Watched South Carolina and Missouri. Yeah, that's decent.
So they really that bad, South Carolina.
Yeah.
You know, and that brings up another subject I want to get into one day, and that's about a lot of coaches to me that don't deserve to still keep their job, but keeps their job for past record. To me, that's one guy like Steve Spurrier. You know, it's some guys that they don't get. You know what I mean? They haven't really done nothing to me, but they. I'm
gonna help you. I'm gonna help you out here with one thing.
Well,
this is how you keep your job with your past record. And everybody gonna freak out on this one, but it's called marriage.
Now the fixer came in a little low on the volume, so I'm gonna repeat it for anybody who didn't hear that. He said, "This is how you keep your job with your past record. It's called marriage." I can attest to both sides of that coin. So we were talking about the Southern University Jaguars, and Joker brought up the South Carolina Gamecocks and Coach Steve Spurrier, and we were talking about Southern. Now we got it to head.
On the other side of town, moving quickly, rolling swiftly in the hoochie.
Right.
Oh man, that struck a nerve with Coach Steve Spurrier. Look, here's the deal. And there's marriage is one way to keep your job, but another way to keep your job is if you're in a marriage and you're the ugly one. You know, if you weigh about 3 bills, you got a mole on your face, and you know you've been in between jobs, and your wife was 20 years old and smoking hot and was a Miss Louisiana, Miss Georgia, Miss Southern, Miss LSU, whatever. She's beautiful, and she's 40 and she's still beautiful, and you're not that pretty. She's gonna keep her job. South Carolina. People got to remember, South Carolina is a recruiting black hole. It is not a school that's had a lot of success. George Rogers is, strike that, Jadeveon Clowney. Before him, George Rogers was the last person worth of note out there. Steve Spurrier's...
Lattimore, maybe.
Say what? Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. Marcus Lattimore, you're correct. I stand corrected. My point very simply, Steve Spurrier has had South Carolina competitive every year, and I'm going to tell you, that school and that program and that recruiting base and that university, competitive is the best they can hope for, and they've been on the cusp. They've been in the top 10 a few times. I'm telling you, Joker, I don't know if they can do better. That's my point. If you're going to fire the coach, you got to do better, and as much struggling as Steve Spurrier has done, I don't know if you could do any better there. I think South Carolina is one of those places that can never win, at least not in my lifetime.
I disagree. I think that young, fresh coaches have showed that they can come in and turn around programs in this day and age. I think we hold on so much to the old rankings and what a coach has done and this and that. But when you really break it down, and to me, I'm gonna give you another example. And this is a African American coach in the NBA. This is Doc Rivers. I told you this about last.
Oh boy.
You know, not saying that Doc Rivers should be fired. I'm not calling for that, but I'm saying he don't take as much flack, you know, for you to have that team you had. You had a veteran team, not like you're a new team, not a new coach. You Doc Rivers, you got NBA experience, you got the best sixth man, you got the best rebounder, you got one of the best point guards,
you got hardware,
and you got the best power forward, Blake Griffin. There's no reason, and you'd have been in the playoffs before, for you to lose 3-1 and go back against Houston without a hurt Dwight Howard, and for you to lose that back to back. You know, we gave you a pass at Boston because you got when what McCollum got hurt, they played the Lakers. Kendrick Perkins
yes.
and all them, so we gave him kind of a pass, not winning that second champ. But now I digress. I don't want to get too off on that. But I'm just basically saying that.
Joker.
For the sake of time.
Right. For the sake of time.
I'm not going to dive in on that subject. I'm just going to say this: that character is everything.
Yeah, it is. And not only that. Go ahead, Coach. I'm sorry.
It's not just the character of the coach. It's the character of the people. Sometimes, Joker, it isn't the X's and the O's. It's the Jims and the Joes. So,
and much like South Carolina. Sorry, Coach. Go ahead.
Let's go ahead, go around the horn, and pick the LSU game, and then we can go ahead and get our odds on the professional game.
Okay, we can do that.
Yes, sir.
Well, of course, I'm going to pick LSU. I'm going to go with LSU. I got an update I just got though. It's a little shocker brewing right now going on in Dallas, Texas, between Texas and Oklahoma game. Texas is actually up 14-0. You know, Charlie Strong is on the hot seat.
Am I being punked? You
no,
serious?
This is real. I just got this hot off the press. Texas is up 14-0 in their game, but I'm going with LSU.
I'm definitely going. I mean, South Carolina, first of all, got stripped of a home game through no fault of their own, and I think LSU is a better team. And as Coach Perry Daniels would say, that man, number 7, LSU all the way. Mr. Myers?
I believe LSU all the way because I just feel like ain't nobody stopping Leonard Fournette right now.
Spoken by a running back.
Right.
Exactly.
Dixon, what do you have there? You gonna stick with the? I just told y'all. All right, so I'm gonna make it unanimous.
They favored by 19.
Hey, and I'm gonna take my 19.5. Y'all can have it straight up. I'm gonna take my 19.5 and I'm gonna still win. Watch.
And you going with LSU in the 19? Okay.
Hey.
I'm gonna take LSU minus 19.5.
Right. Okay.
Spoken like an odds maker.
Yes, indeed.
So, yeah.
Let's move to the pros.
Yes, sir. So, man. So, look, the New Orleans Saints started off 0-3. We saw all kinds of dysfunction, but now we get to talk about the men of the National Football League. So the New Orleans Saints got a pull-off minor upset last week, upsetting the Dallas Cowboys in overtime on an 80-yard touchdown pass from Drew Brees to C.J. Spiller on the second play from scrimmage in overtime. The period only lasted 13 seconds, and I'll tell you, it was a pleasant surprise to me, but Coach Perry Daniels called it. He told us so, and he told us so.
You got that right there, Coach.
Absolutely, man. And it's no big surprise. They were inspired. Rex Ryan. No, is that the right Ryan?
Rob Ryan. They're both fat and have terrible gray hair, so it's understandable.
Watch that fat language now.
He had the defense playing as well as they could play. So they played inspired football. They came out with a W.
And you know,
they almost gave it away.
They tried to give it away with the miss. You know, my pet peeve with the kicking game, and that one to just slap Zach Hocker in his helmet after he missed that field goal at the end of the game. But the defense was itself, which is not very good. The special teams disappointed, but Drew Brees, I'll tell you what, I was skeptical on whether or not the man was healthy, but he threw the ball with some zip. Now, the Saints are going to Philadelphia this week. And if Drew Brees is himself, which it looks like he is, The Saints have a chance. I'm still going to pick the Philadelphia Eagles. The Saints have just not been a good road team. The defense is still awful. It's a perfect storm for Sam Bradford to have a breakout game, and Chip Kelly with his gadget offense, and DeMarco Murray. I think the Eagles have a slight advantage. I'm not going to pull an Eric Hatfield this week and hedge. I'll just say that I expect Philadelphia to win, but I also expect Drew Brees to play well.
I'm going to actually go with the Saints in this game. I think the Saints, Philadelphia Eagles are, they're in a little trouble too. I think the Philadelphia Eagles are a better team than New Orleans, but I just think this week with a lot of the stuff that's going on, and I think that little win did motivate New Orleans just a little bit. So I think they go up to Philadelphia, get back-to-back wins.
Mr. Myers, what do you think?
I just feel like it's the NFL, so it can go either way in my opinion.
Oh, come on, Javin. No. You got to pick one, bro. We're going to have you on the radio next week. Who you got? Who you picking, Saints or Eagles?
I think I'll go with the Philadelphia Eagles.
That's all right. Yeah, that's all right. Look, I believe black and gold. It's okay to pick the bad guys because these Saints just... Coach?
Man, this is a tough one. I'm going to say that the Saints are inspired and they pull out another W this weekend against a horrible Eagles offense.
Wow, we are 50-50 this week. We have half the same. And the funny thing is...
I'm still here.
Wow.
Yeah, he's still there. LSU and the minus 19.
I didn't have enough coffee this morning, man. I should have stayed in the Holiday Inn Express. Go ahead, Fixer.
I'm going to take Saints.
Whoa. What are the odds?
What are the odds?
Plus 7.5. That means that Saints got to win. I mean, Philadelphia got to win by 7.5 points.
So you're taking this... You're taking...
I'm going to take the Saints plus 7.5.
What about straight? What about taking them straight?
I just told you I'm taking the Saints plus 7.5. You know I would.
Okay, all right. So he's taking both. Wow.
He thinks they're going to lose, but he thinks they'll lose by...
But they'll cover, though. He thinks, yeah.
All right. Fair enough.
So, look, let's get the our
yes, sir.
And come back and give the Fixer an opportunity to talk a little baseball.
Yes, sir. You took the words right out of my mouth as we get to talk about where we tell you who was right and who was wrong, and I told you so. And I told you. Oh, good grief.
Did I tell you?
Mike, Windows 10 is awful. That's all I'm going to say. Hang on a second, folks. Give me like 2 seconds. I'm going to get this going. I hate Windows 10 so very much. Don't upgrade your computer to it. Here we go.
I know. I told you so.
I told you. What did I tell you? Didn't I tell you? 'Cause I told you. And when did I tell you? A long time ago. And what did I say will happen when I told you? Exactly what just happened.
We have a big game.
Did we get his pick for the LSU game? Of course he's LSU.
That's Eastern Michigan. I mean, you're picking LSU, I assume, Coach?
Absolutely.
Yeah. LSU. I'm also picking LSU to go over 50 points this week. Joker?
LSU.
You think they'll go?
Leonard Fournette, another 200 yards. You want points?
You think they'll go over 50?
Yeah.
Coach, you think LSU will get more than 50?
No, I say no. I'm
No?
going to take that back. No.
Okay. Coach?
I think they will get over 50. I question whether or not he'll get over 200 yards due to DJ's best friend, Darius Geis, and their former teammate, Nick Brosette.
DJ, over-under on Leonard Fournette, 200 yards, and over-under on LSU with 50 points.
Over 50 and under 200.
Mike?
I'll go with DJ. Over 50 and under 200.
All right, now y'all. Alabama and Georgia.
And I'm going to pull an Eric Hatfield here, Joker. It wouldn't surprise me if Alabama wins, but I'm going to pick Georgia.
This is his opportunity, and I'm gonna pull an Eric Hatfield. Of course, I am Eric Hatfield, but I'm gonna pull an Eric Hatfield and say I wouldn't be surprised if Alabama won, but I'm picking Georgia to win this game. I think this.
I think of the pressure, and when when it comes down to it, I always seen Mark Richt fold. I've never seen Georgia overcome that pressure.
You're right.
And so that's where I'm going to have to tip the edge to Alabama on this one.
Yeah!
He's saying make a pick. You don't have to pick the Saints. He's saying make a selection when we get there. You'll see.
But I'm picking the Saints.
Whoa! So everyone quiet on the set. Quiet.
Hold up.
Coach Perry Daniels, Dallas is coming to New Orleans for Sunday Night Football. Who is your selection in that game?
The New Orleans Saints. I know it's tough to pick. Don't pick the Saints.
I'm about to fall out of my chair.
That's true.
Fellas, Alabama and Georgia, what are y'all's thoughts?
I think Alabama's going to win.
All right, so we got a Nick Saban supporter here.
I expect Alabama to win, but I think Georgia could pull it off.
All right, he's... And they got the Dallas Cowboys coming to the Superdome this week on Sunday Night Football before the entire nation. Perry picked the Saints. I'm going to pick the Cowboys, but
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I'm going with the Dallas Cowboys on the first game of the season after I saw the Saints.
DJ Mike, Saints Cowboys. Who do y'all like in that game?
I'm going to go with the Cowboys. I'll go with the Cowboys, too.
So we have some Major League Baseball action going on. The St. Louis Cardinals, boy, they are good. They are good.
Yes,
Let's get the expert. Let's go fix it.
Where you at?
Well,
What it looking like?
Y'all are odds. Actually, they got the Toronto Blue Jays at 3-1. The Cardinals 5-1. I don't even know why they got the Cubs up here.
John Lackey lost a no-hitter in the sixth inning. The Cardinals looked spectacular last night.
And that was their worst pitcher. I don't know if you knew that or not. But,
when John Lackey's your worst pitcher, you're in a good way.
Yeah, the Cubs 11-2, Dodgers 11-2, Royals 11-2.
Interesting. That's interesting.
Okay. So what we got up here? We got.
Believe it or not, I seen an Astros team that looked a little better than normal than what we expected. But they got them at 17-2, and the Rangers 12-1. I would worry more about the Rangers than I would about everything else on the top of this list, except for the Cardinals.
The Rangers.
Except for the Cardinals. So we got. So what we got? We got two Cardinals on the panel. We have, what are you, Eric? Houston Astros, right?
I mean, that's my American League team of choice, but I like the St. Louis Cardinals.
So if
I'm going to pick
one. So we got three Cardinals. I'm going, and I told you this already. I'm going with the Cubs.
Oh.
I ain't make Cubs. I'm going with Cubs. Since 1906. I'm going with history this year.
So Joker
and then, hey, you know what? Look, hey, and it may be. You know, these are the type of things that it's going to be 2016. So that's you know, what would that be?
108 years. My grandmother is 97 years old. There are very few things that happened before she was born that are relevant today. That's one of them. I think it's going to stay that way. But it'll be a special story if it is.
So we'll see,
Man,
Fixer.
I'm getting off my motorcycle. I'm coming down.
I knew that'd get him.
Oh, man.
We got out of time.
Blackie intelligence or straight.
We are out of time.
Yes,
Stick around for the Noel Jackson Show, Music Satisfaction, right after this. Thank you for joining us.
Special thanks to Javin Myers for coming this morning.
Yes,
Absolutely. Hey, Joe, Christian, man, it's good to have you back in the saddle, man. You know the drill. Stay off the grid. Stay out
of jail.
Peace.
ADT, JNS, love.
Have a good afternoon.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks a bunch.
Thank you, Mama. I love you.
Good luck to you, man, if we don't see you again for the rest of the year.
Yes, sir.
Hail to the king and lots of love. May he protect us from the evil out.